Hello everyone and welcome to this workout. Today we have a dumbbell only full body workout for you. So we're going to hit every major muscle group using just a pair of dumbbells. If you've got multiple pairs, you can use multiple pairs because you might want different weights for different exercises. But I'm just going to use one pair. These are 17.5 kilo dumbbells. And we're going to focus on tempo as well. So we're going to keep things slow so we keep under tension for longer. Before we get started with the workout though, we'll get mobilized and warmed up. So we'll just take our feet a comfortable distance apart. And we're going to start with some squats, so just like to sink your hips back and down as low into a squat as you feel comfortable. Think about squeezing through the legs, then we drive the feet through the floor as we come back up, still squeezing the legs as we do. And like I said, we're just warming up, mobilizing the body, getting ready for some of the work we're about to do. Two to go. We're going to come into a roll down next. So feet are still comfortable distance apart, slight bend in the knees. I like you to lower the chin to the chest. We'll relax our arms and shoulders, and we're just going to roll down through the spine. Trying to roll through every vertebrae if we can. Rolling as far towards the floor as you feel you can. And then we'll slowly roll back up to standing. Now don't worry if you can't touch the floor at the bottom, that's fine, but we're going to repeat this a few times. It's just starting to mobilise through the back of the body. Last one. Then from here, we'll come down to the floor. And we'll take the right leg out in front of us, left leg out to the side. We're trying to get as close to a 90-degree bend in the knees as we feel we can. We'll bring the right hand to the floor, left arm out shoulder height. I like to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to lean forwards over the right leg, trying to push your right knee and ankle into the floor as we do, so we can activate and mobilise our hips a little bit more. And then we'll gently ease back up. I'm just going to slowly repeat this a couple of times. One more time on this side. And we're going to swap the legs over, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we'll take the left leg out in front of us this time, right leg out to the side, as close to that 90-degree bend in the knees as we feel we can. We'll take our deep breath in with the left hand on the floor. As we breathe out, we'll lean out over the left leg, trying to push the left knee and ankle into the floor this time. And then we'll gently ease back up. And again, just repeat a few times. One more time on this side. And we can make our way back up to standing. But I'd like to take your feet comfortable distance apart again. We're going to come back into our squats. So we'll sink the hips back and down. Again, focusing on that squeeze to the legs, but hopefully everything's feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more mobile. Squats feel a little bit easier. Two to go. And then we can rest there. And like I said, we should be feeling a little bit warmer, more mobilised, and ready for our workout. Now we are going to start with some squats. You can use both dumbbells if you want to, either holding them low, holding them high. I'm going to use a single one, I'm going to hold it high. Again, you can do it holding low, holding it low. We're going to focus, like I said, on tempo. So I really want you to keep the squats slow on the way down. So we focus on that squeeze in the legs, lowering as far as we feel we can. We'll add a little pause at the bottom of your squats, just a couple of seconds, and we can move a little bit quicker to the top. We have 2 rounds of squats. We're going to do 8 reps in each set. So we'll take hold of our weight. Nice and feet. Comfortable distance apart for your squats. And then we're going to push those hips back and down, keeping the chest lifted, keeping it slow, going as far into the squat as you feel you can. Pause, keep that squeeze to the legs, and we drive to the top. And then we'll go again. So it's important to squeeze the legs the whole time. That's going to look after the joints, especially when we're holding at the bottom. Otherwise, we just put all that tension into the joints rather than keeping it in the muscles. We're trying to resist that weight on the way down. Got 2 to go. Last one in this set. And then we can rest. So we have a little bit of recovery time. Feel free to grab a drink if you need it. Then we're going to do the same thing, keeping those squats nice and slow on the way down. A couple of second pause at the bottom, and then drive back to the top. So we have 8 more squats, and we'll be done with our squats for today. Are we ready for set 2? So again, we'll take hold of our weight, feet comfortable distance apart, and we slowly sink those hips back and down. Keeping that squeeze to the legs, pausing, and then that drives to the top. There we go again. So if we make that drive up a little bit quicker, we keep that resist on the way down, keep that pause. Good. 2 to go. Last one. And then we can rest. So we're done with our squats. Enjoy a bit of recovery time. We're not done with the legs though. So next up, after a bit of recovery, we have Romanian deadlifts. So feet are about hip width apart. Ever so slight bend in the knees. We're going to keep a strong core brace, but then we're going to tip forwards from the hips. So imagine you've been karate chopped in the hips and you're tipping forwards, keeping that back nice and flat as we do, and we'll ease back up. Now as we tip forwards, we want to think about pushing the hips slightly back. So imagine there's a wall behind you that you're trying to push your bum into as you tip forwards. So we keep that slight bend in the knees, but we're not pushing the hips too far back and down, because otherwise it turns it into a squat. So it's just that hinge and then that drive up. At the top, nice straight line, but every time we come back up, we're thinking about trying to push the feet into the floor, squeezing through the back of the legs into the glutes. Again, we have a weight in each hand if we want to. We can hold a single one. We keep the weights close to the legs as we come down. If we're using a pair, you might just want to hold them slightly to the outside of the leg as you come down, keeping them super close, keeping the shoulder blades pulled together and that strong core brace as well. Drawing the abs in towards us to keep that back nice and flat. We don't want to be rounding because that's going to put all the pressure on your lower back. If you're using a single one, still keep it close to the legs. We'll hold it in the center. So 2 sets of 8, and again we keep it slow. On the way down, little pause, chest almost parallel to the floor or just parallel, we don't want to go further than that. So number 1, we tip forwards. Keep the shoulder blades pulled together, pausing, and then a little bit quicker to the top. And we'll go again. That's good. 2 to go. And then after those 8, we can rest. And we can pop the weights down. Again, we have a little bit of recovery time before we go for set 2. Again, as I said before, trying to keep that nice straight line through the back as we tip forwards, pushing the hips slightly back so we load those hamstrings and the glutes. Then we're working those as we push back up to standing. We don't want to lean back at the top because again, we can put some excess pressure through the lower back and we don't want that because it could cause an injury. Same as if we're rounding as we lower, that's going to put all this excess pressure here, whereas if we can keep that nice straight line, we're going to look after the back. That's another reason why we don't go further than parallel to the floor, because here we can keep that, but as soon as we start to go that little bit further, but again we're going to round, and that just puts that excess pressure and we don't want that. A little bit longer recovery before set 2. Last round of these, so 8 more reps. Okay, let's take hold of our weights, or weight. Shoulders pull back, we draw the abs in, slight bend in those knees, and we tip forward from those hips, pushing them slightly back as we do. Come into around parallel to the floor, and then we drive back up, pushing those feet into the ground. That's good. Two to go. Last one. And then we can rest. So next up, we actually get to come down to the floor. We're going to come down onto our backs. So we're done with the legs. We're going to work the chest. And now a lot of us won't have a bench available, so we're going to do a floor press instead. If you have got a bench, you can feel free to do a chest press on your bench, but I know necessarily at home you haven't got one, so we can work the chest working on the floor. It will limit our range of motion slightly though, because we're limited by the floor. We can't get the elbows quite so far down. We're going to start with a weight in each hand, drawing the shoulder blades together. We're then going to bring the elbows down to the floor. So we don't want them out at shoulder height. We don't want them right by our sides. They're kind of out at about a 45-degree angle as we lower. We keep the shoulder blades drawn together, bring them as close to the floor as we can, and then we're going to press back over the shoulders. We want to keep it slow in both directions, keeping that tension in, and we're really driving into the chest as we push away. So we keep that squeezing the shoulder blades so the shoulders are rounding forwards and lifting off the floor as we drive up. Again, we've got 2 sets, we're going to do 8 reps. So we'll come down to the floor. Legs are bent. And then we can take hold of our weights. Okay, so hands start over the shoulders. Like I said, draw the shoulder blades together. We want to keep the shoulder blades pulled together as we lower down towards the floor, and we're going to press slowly back towards the ceiling. And we're going to repeat. So we just keep it slow in both directions. So trying to keep that squeeze between the shoulder blades, really pushing into the chest as we push the hands back towards the ceiling. And then after we've done our 8, we can pop the weights down. We have a bit of recovery time. And we'll do another set of those. So again, like I said, as you come down, we're not trying to bring the elbow out at shoulder height. We're trying to bring it in, kind of down around about a 45-degree angle from the shoulder. And then really thinking about squeezing into the chest and push the hand back to the ceiling, keeping the shoulder blade pulled in, because that's going to help us use the chest rather than pushing into the shoulder. And that's also why we don't want the shoulders to lift off the floor. We'll end up using more shoulder. And then pec. We've got a little bit longer, about 10 seconds. Then we'll go for our second and final set of these. So again, we'll take hold of our weights, take the hands over the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades together, and we'll lower down as far towards the floor as we feel we can, and then press towards the ceiling. Again, we're just keeping it at that steady tempo, so we're not going too quick, resisting the weight on the way down. And again, once we've done 8, we're going to rest. We're going to pop those weights down. And then enjoy a bit of recovery time. And that's the chest done as well. So we've done the legs, we've done the chest. Next up, we're going to work our shoulders. And we're going to do it from the floor as well. So we've got a Z press today. So that's a seated shoulder press from the floor without any back support. 2 options with the legs. We can have the legs apart, which is going to give us a more stable base. And we want to keep an ever so slight bend in these, trying to drive your heels into the floor to keep the heels down. We don't want the heels to lift when we're trying to press, because if we lift and we lean back, we're going to topple over, and we don't want that to happen. Or if you feel we can and we want a little bit more of a challenge, we can bring the feet closer together. It's going to make it a little bit harder. It's a less stable base, but pick the option that feels right for you. And then we'll take the weights into our hands by the shoulders. We'll then drive the weight overhead, trying to extend the arms as fully as possible, and then bring the weights as close back down towards the shoulders as you feel you can. We want to keep it slow on the way down, so we're resisting the weight on the way down. That's going to put more weight through the shoulder. We have 2 rounds of these. Again, we're sticking with 8 reps. That's the workout for today. Pretty much every exercise we're going to do is 2 rounds of 8. Okay. We ready for set 1? So like I said, either feet apart, feet together. We bring the weights to the shoulders, and we're going to drive overhead. So we sit up nice and tall, driving the heels into the floor. Again, once we've done our 8, we can rest, we can pop those down. They're quite tough from the floor, aren't they? It makes us have to sit nice and tall as well. We don't want to be sitting hunched. Like I said, we don't want to lean back at all when we're trying to press, because if we lean back, we're likely to topple over. So we have to work hard, sitting up nice and tall, keeping those heels pinned to the floor. We have a little bit more recovery, about 15 seconds. Then we'll go for our second and final set of these. So again, 8 reps. Starting at the shoulders, taking them as far overhead as we can, and then as close back towards the shoulders as we feel as possible. Okay, let's take hold of those weights. We sit nice and tall, and we drive overhead, and then back down. And then after those 8, we can rest and we can pop the weights down. So we have one more exercise for today's workout, and this one's for the back. We have bent over rows. So again, we're going to use a pair of weights for this one. Standing tall, slight bend in the knees. We tip forward from the hips. Bringing the chest as close to parallel as we feel comfortable, keeping that strong core brace. So we keep that nice straight line to the back. So we don't want to tip round to the back again. We want to keep the chest lifted, drawing the abs in. Then we're going to take the elbows back towards the hip, and then drive it up. And as we do, we drive the shoulder blades together. And the reason we take the elbow back and up is that's going to engage our lats. If we just pull straight up, we're mainly going to work our biceps, and we'll miss out on that work, or a lot of the work, in the big muscles in the back of the body. Again, 2 sets, 8 reps. And like I said, it'll be our last exercise for today. And then we've done pretty much a whole body with just a pair of dumbbells, keeping it controlled as well. So on these, we come up as far as we can, and then we're just going to keep it a little bit slower on the way down. And at the bottom, you can allow the shoulder just to drop slightly forwards. It's going to get a bit of a stretch into your lats, and then we can really engage them again on the next rep. So we'll take hold of our weights, feet comfortable distance apart, slight bend in the knees, tip forwards, and we drive the elbows back and up, taking them as far back and up as we feel we can. And again, once we've done 8, we can rest, we can pop those down, enjoy a bit of recovery. And then we have one last set of today's workout. Okay, 15 seconds, and then we'll get this last set done. So 8 more reps. I know we're ready for it now. So let's take hold of those weights. Slight bend in those knees, or hinge forwards. We drive the elbows back towards the hips and up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. After 8, you can rest. I'm just going to pop these back. So thank you for joining me for today's workout. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you have any comments, any questions, either drop a comment below, send me a message. Well, I said I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, if you haven't already, please like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this as well. And I hope you're all keeping well. Take care, and I'll see you next time.